like that. I said, it's just for emergencies. I said, I'm not even looking for a high dosage. I'm pretty susceptible to drugs. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
She listened to my whole session. She heard the whole thing. She's like, well, she goes, I'm not going to give you Xanax. She goes, people come in here and they're asking for Xanax. I'm not doing that. And I was like, okay, I understand. I was like, she goes, but I would, and I said to her prehand, I said, I do not want serotonin blockers. I do not like serotonin blockers. It's like, I'm not depressed and I don't have anxiety issues like that. I said, I just get cramps and I can't physically move. I don't know what else to tell you. It happens if I don't take care of myself. Situations like I have to go to the bathroom really badly, or I don't get enough sleep. If I haven't eaten anything and I'm very, very, you know, it's just if I don't take care of, if I eat too much later at night the next day, I'm going to feel sick. If I drink too much in one sitting, if I take an inhale of a cigarette too hard, I will trigger myself into the panic attack. And I'm not looking for a Xanax every single time I want to get into a panic attack. I know how to avoid them.
Yeah.
The problem is sometimes they come into my life whether I wanted them to or not, in cases like my mom. But the woman will respect that. She said, I'm going to give you Paxil. I said, well, you're the doctor. I'm going to try what you say because maybe it'll be my miracle cure. Within like a week and a half at work, my boss is like, you said you went to a psychologist, right? Or a psychiatrist, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, what did they prescribe you? And I was like, Paxil. He goes, that would explain it. And I was like, what? And he's like, why you've been a dick to everybody this last week. He's like, it's like 2 or 3 weeks in. He's like, you may not realize it. He's like, but you're just yelling at everybody all the time. And I was like, I don't feel like I'm yelling at anybody. He goes, well, you are. He goes, but I
Well, you
know what
are.
Paxil. He goes, my wife was on Paxil and she did the same thing. He goes, you should probably get off that. So I went to the doctor and I said, you know, um, it was like the time of, and
Guess it made you yell at him too,
said,
right?
I said to her, I was like, I'm not going to be doing any more sessions with you. I was like, I'm not going to continually take this Paxil. And she's like, well, you're going to cancel a session on me. That's going to be $50 more for the cancel session. And I just wrote another later. Usually I don't stand up for myself like this, but I was like, you almost got me fired from my job by prescribing me the exact thing that I told you I did not want, a serotonin blocker. But I chose to trust you, the doctor, because you always think you know better and you did all this and that. I said, but you almost got me fired from my job, my good paying job that I provide for my family, my house, and everything. And you were risking me like a science experiment to give me something. And oh, that didn't work. Let's try the next thing. Oh, those didn't work. Let's try this. I'm not your science experiment. And I'm sorry, but that's not how drugs work in my mind. And
Yeah.
if doctors say, no, that is how we have to do it, you literally are destroying people's lives then. You're
Yeah.
not, you definitely aren't following a hypocritical oath by doing that,
You do no
because
harm.
I almost got fired if it weren't for the fact that my boss knew in another situation what was going on. And I looked back and realized it after that. I realized, I guess he's right. Like I have been like angry at everybody. I just thought that it was all their problem. Thought they were the assholes. And it's like, well, they're
Yeah.
yelling at me back, but it's like because I'm yelling at them.
I, I
And
I
it's like,
literally had the same situation with I'm not going to go into my relationship with all this online with all this, but a relationship where the person I was with was on different kind of medications, and one of them did make her kind of an asshole. And then there were a lot of times she would tell me, "I'm sorry for being a B, the B word," but insert text here, and I was like, "You are really horrible. Like you are being horrible." And I'm like, do you think it's a medication that you're on? Because you're not, like, this stuff is just a bit too far gone. And, and the fact is, I think she wanted to find something wrong with her in a sense because she kept changing medications all the time.
Well, that's what I mean. You move the bar. That's what I was saying
And
before. When you're looking for that kind of stuff, you're just gonna keep moving that bar. You're never
and
gonna
so
be happy.
she kept constantly being like this guinea pig experiment for all these different drugs and stuff. And
I wasn't gonna do it when I was a kid. I knew what Xanax was. I know that Xanax is the quick release, endorphin shooter upper. And that's what I mean. Like, I don't like to take that. Why would I want to keep taking stuff that if I keep taking it over and over again, nothing's gonna make me happy by the time I'm 40? I don't want that. I like life. I don't need Xanax to make me feel good in life. I look at a tree and I'm happy for the next like 8 hours staring at it. All its different leaves, whatever insects you're crawling on at the time. I can continually be amused by a blade of grass. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm
did
happy with life. I love life. I love my thought processes.
a little bit on topic
You
with
know,
that. Did you hear about the woman that got euthanized in Belgium because she was just depressed about some other thing? Isn't that
yeah, I did hear
insane?
about that.
Why do people?
But she wanted to.
But how do
Self-willing,
we
right?
know really know? Other people were arguing the fact that there were some other treatments to do before that, but she just went
You know
straight
what
to
that is though?
euthanization. Is that the
You know
government
what that is
saying,
though?
"Oh, you want to kill yourself? We'll help you do that."
But you know what that is though? That's no different to me than a father wanting to date his daughter in the long run, or the daughter and father, you clearly groomed your kid at birth. The idea of euthanization is like, yeah, we'll gladly get paid to off you. We don't care what well, how long before, you get some fake ass signatures and shit and no, I don't want to,
I
he's signed.
exactly. How far do you go until the government's just like,
Dead people
"Oh,
don't
that
talk.
person is just a," and I think that's what happened long ago with those insane asylums, where all these people were dying of plague or in an insane asylum. It's like, "Oh no, that person's a little insane. We'll just stick a little needle right through here and wiggle it around," and
Oh,
they're like, "Oh," because they brain damage now
holy
and they
shit.
can't think anymore. It's like, "Oh, you know what? It's
Hey
best if we
Lou,
just put them out of their misery."
check this out, Lou. The electrics don't kill him. They actually kind of help him. They no look at him. He's dumb. Like, he ain't so angry.